I spoke to you for the last half hour and did not turn my microphone on, so I have to do it all again, which is um, which is very fitting for what I'm going to talk about actually, because the last paranormal investigation that I done was in Cumber House, where myself and Rachel were invited by Peninsula Paranormal Group, and they, when they're in the area, they kindly invite us to their investigations, and we're very grateful for them, and they're very good friends. Unfortunately, the last time we investigated, when we got into the car just to go, just a couple of seconds after we got into the car, there was a torrential downpour, and there was flash floods, and and I mean, like, so much water came down and within a 10-15 minutes, and that it was pretty bad. That was going to get involved in an incident we had on the way home, but um, it was a long time since we were at this particular location, and in the meantime, a new motorway was built, and I was confused and I got lost. When we got there, cameras malfunctioned. I made mistakes. We use old Sony night vision cameras, and they're not the quickest of sensors inside those. And when you uh, point them in a source of light coming at it, it can knock the focus out. And I made a number of mistakes there because there was floodlights on front of the building, and some of the light was shining in through the windows and stuff, and it was playing up with our cameras. And my mistakes was that the cameras were pointing towards the windows and that, and it was mucking up our footage. Then we had battery issues and all sorts of stuff. Eventually, after arriving late, and all this happening, I had lost focus. I had lost interest in the investigation at this stage because we had nothing else to record with. Two cameras gone down, and it was just, you know, I just wanted to go home. So we packed up and we said goodbye to everybody and thanked them and all the rest of it. And then on the way home, didn't we get lost again? And I was on this country road. And when the downpour happened, it caused some landslides and stuff. I came around this corner and I ran into one of these landslides. I hit a big rock and I damaged the car. And we just about made it home. But it took us a while to actually find our way home because of all this new layout and this new motorway and the whole shebang and that. But we have an opportunity to work with them again, so it was soon. So what we're going to be doing, what I'm going to be doing anyway, is not relying on the old Sony cameras now. And I thought, right, you go on YouTube, you go on TikTok or Facebook or whatever, and people are doing paranormal investigations. What is the thing that you see most from most paranormal teams that you see on YouTube and Facebook? Is REM pods, EMF meters, uh, calling out to spirits, all that kind of thing. It all kind of comes from the television industry. So there's a lot of television industry influence and all of that. Right, I have been away from the paranormal for a while now, and I'm going to walk into this like I never done a paranormal investigation. Now, I am aware that we did have captures and stuff, so we're gonna. That's information that I've taken in. I'm going to work with. Now, was the last investigation a complete waste of time? No, it wasn't actually, because um, we learned a few things from it. And actually, Peninsula Paranormal Group actually picked up pretty good captures that night, So it was pretty good. So one thing that I had been going through my head for a while, and I did test this out, was sometimes somebody is holding a camera and they hear a sound and they turn their head, the camera's still facing this way, and they miss it. Wouldn't it be good, which is impossible, to download what you see from your eyes? So when you turn your head, you're actually turning towards the sound that you hear, and you're pointed in that direction. That's where I thought I've done a number of videos, and I've used just a body camera on a mini tripod, one of those mini tripod grips. And I thought, what if I had mounted it somewhere near where my eyes are? I have tried it on the top of my head. It doesn't actually line up with your eyes and stuff like that. And I tried using it the way it's intended, which is, onto your jacket, kind of like a security guard. But when you turn your head, the camera's still pointing this way, sort of thing. So I thought, I'm going to put it on this. And I did actually use this one night walking around the Peace Garden. Lucky nobody else saw me because it kind of looks weird. It is an airsoft tactical helmet, which has got two rails on the side. Now I can mount a night vision light on both sides of those. And I used all this GoPro stuff here to get this camera sort of away from my face so it's not blocking my eye, but close enough so I can actually see the little screen that's... all the straps are in the way, but there's a little screen there that I can actually see. So you put it on your head. You can still see what you do, and that needs a little bit of an adjustment to straighten it up. But you can still see what you're doing. You can still see the screen. You can still control your recording and stuff like that. But when you turn your head, the camera's going to go with you. Now, the one thing that has to be right is a counterweight on the back. If you put weight on the front and you don't put weight on the back, what happens is your head is perfectly balanced. As a human being, it's balanced in that when you put a hat on your head or a helmet like this on your head and you put weight on the front, what happens is it weighs your head slightly forward. So you're constantly compensating by bringing your head back. And after a while, your neck gets sore. So this came separate, where you mount a counterweight on the back, so you can balance out the whole thing. So hopefully that will work. Will I use it? I might. It's one thing that was going through my head the last couple of days. And the ease of doing that is that when I'm walking around and filming, my hands are completely free. I can use any piece of equipment that I want. I want to take out a spurt box. I want to take out a manual radio. It's great. And I did try this in the Peace Garden, and I was walking around with my hands folded and my hands were free, and it done okay. Will it be comfortable for 3.5 to 4 or 5 hours? That remains to be seen. So, but I'm going to try and get that thing balanced as best I can. Now, the question I did have was, yes, the camera films in 1296p, and it's pretty good. The night vision is brilliant on it, especially with the extra lights and stuff. But is the audio good? Well, if I'm talking, the camera is really, really close to me, it's going to be perfect that way. I may still need to boost it up a little bit because it's not brilliant at getting the audio from within the other side of a large room or whatever. You can pick it up on that, but you might have to boost it and that. But it's not overly terrible, which is good. Now the other thing is too, what I might bring is a parabolic dish, which is a glass one, and connecting that up to a Panasonic Toughbook laptop, and just record the whole night in a quiet part of the location and stuff like that, and see how that goes. And hopefully that will work. Um, it's just and with the camera and that, it's not like a YouTube video where I'm going to turn around and go, "Hi guys," and blah, shout out and all the rest of it. I don't try not to do this to entertain people. I try. The object of the exercise is to get the paranormal activity in that, and you know, paranormal investigating sometimes can be a bit boring, but if you stick through it, the rewards are great. So you've got a lot of time where nothing happens, and if you're in the right place at the right time, you'd be there when something happens, and that, and the reason why I thought about using a camera like that is, you know, we automatically react to looking in a certain direction if we hear something. But sometimes we have to learn to turn the camera when we turn our head. And that sometimes doesn't happen exactly at the same time. But that all goes out the window if you got a camera mounted on your head. It's not that isn't going to be an issue, But that camera will last 3.5 hours, kind of thing, on one charge. Now we do have a tea break in the middle of it, which means a half an hour where I can top up the charge. So I'm okay there. I don't want to be carrying around a big heavy camera, and I don't want the mistakes that was made the last time this time. So it'll be sort of like I'll do an introduction, give you a bit of history, what's about the place, and then it's just basically what my eyes can see the whole way through, and then just show you everything. That's the way I do it. Some people say, edit down to 20 minutes because people don't want. I don't give a shit. I just want. I want the investigation. I want to document the whole investigation, everything. So and hopefully be comfortable enough where I can be hands free. And the other part of that too was, do you know when you're paranormal investigating and you bring in all this equipment, then you wonder what equipment will I use where and all the rest of it. The other thing that's on your head in your mind is the camera facing the right way? Is it blurry? Is it out of focus? All this kind of stuff, and you're going over and checking and that. That all goes out the window if the camera's on your head and the screen is just off to the side there and you can see it. I don't have that kind of worry in that. And that way you can just document it, whatever, as much as you can throughout the whole thing, And sometimes when you have cameras on tripods and stuff, you turn them off to go to another part of the location, and that with the head cam you can just keep it running and just walk to your next part of the location and just document as you go from one place to the other, kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully things won't go as bad as It did the last time, but we did learn some valuable lessons from that. Do you know that preparation is key? Now we used to go into this location with a car full of equipment. I'm not doing that this time around, and didn't do that the last time. So what I'm bringing a bag with whatever I can put in that bag, so I don't have huge amounts of EMF detectors and REM pods and that. Yeah, I bring an EMF detector and a REM pod and stuff like that, but I'm not going to. I don't have. Yes, it can be interesting and stuff, but does it really give us an answer of does it give us paranormal answers to paranormal questions? Is the thing that has been going through my head in a long time. So I don't put a huge amount of faith in it. But EMF readings can be important in locations. You know, EMF has a part to play, especially if there's areas of high EMF where it actually affects the human body and stuff like that. But these kind of trigger objects, you're always wondering: is it actually paranormal, or is it a stray radio signal that's just triggering these things off? You just don't know. Speaking of radios, speaking of radios, um, somebody did ask me about the Bufang UV5R, but not the UV5R itself, which is the one of the most popular ham radios, handheld radios. It some people say, well, go for the UV10R. It must be better than UV5R. That's kind of complicated because there's a mix up between two. There's two different types here, and I'm going to show you what the two different types are. Right, this was advertised as UV10R. In my mind, it's not. It's got a nice. It's not a terrible layout, but this here is compacted, but it does have a rubber casing on it that I actually bought. So um, you know, I can't really say, but all I know is when you held these in your hands, there was always little corners that was kind of niggly in your hand and stuff like that. Now this is the UV 10R. Yeah, I've seen a couple of videos where people were complaining about um, the build quality and chargers not working and stuff like that. The problem I had with this one was actually a rattly um, uh, battery unit. When I put the battery in, it was always rattling. So I took the battery out. I put a line of insulating tape on the back of the battery. It doesn't rattle now. It's not brilliant, to be honest with you, but it's sort of okay. It is advertised all over the place on eBay and Amazon, and some people have gone way over the top on Photoshop and advertised them as 300 watts and 3000 watts and 1000 watts. It's a little bit more powerful than the UV5R, but not really. On Chirp, you can program this from UV5R listing on Chirp. There's no problem there. Just it works exactly like UV5R on Chirp. If you download or upload using UV5R listing on Chirp, it's got no problem there. Now this is not a UV10R. This is a UV10R. Now, whether it's made by Bofang or not, or is it real? I don't 100% know. But this is a UV10 without the R, and it's a completely different radio. You put this into Chirp, and try to program this through the UV5 or any of the other Bopang listings. I wasn't very successful with it, so but I did go into, was it Radio Odyssey listing, and it was Radio Odyssey GA-510. And if you look up what it looks like, it looks similar to this. There's two of my radios just after falling. So, is it a Bofang? I don't know. It does look a lot like a Radio Odyssey. Just like my TYT looks exactly like a Retevis. Will we be using these in an upcoming paranormal investigation? I don't think we have a need for them. I might do an EVP experiment where on my T brick I might still run a camera in one of part of the location and wear a headset, and while I'm having my tea, ask questions and see if we can get answers in a quiet room while everybody is gone. I don't know, we'll try, maybe. But the UV5R is still, it's still a handy little unit, and for the price, they're less than £30. You might think that they're a little bit complicated with all the buttons and stuff like that, but once you get used to it, look at loads of videos on YouTube, and you get familiar yourself with them. They're a kind of a step up from the paranormal investigators Bofang of choice, which is the 888S. It's a good radio, but it's this is a little bit chunkier and a little bit better. It's a little bit more robust, if you know what I mean. But as I said in a previous video, if you buy the 888S, please reprogram them at least to PMR. Not that that's legal either, but you don't want to be broadcasting on random frequencies and disrupting other things and getting yourself into a little bit of bother there, But since the last investigation, right, I've been looking at other things on YouTube other than the paranormal, but it's kind of got sick of it all. And every so often something is pushed in front of my face, people doing really stupid shit and that. And I got into a little bit of a spat on a recent piece of drama, and then I decided, is it all flipping worth it? Enough people is calling these people out in the first place. And, you'd be surprised what people do for attention and that. And it's just, be aware when you're watching. If you want to watch entertainment, fair enough. I like entertainment myself. I have no problem with that. But please try and consider that some of these people are claiming paranormal events and portraying that they're getting regular paranormal activity in their house or whatever, and they're pulling the wool over your eyes. When it comes to paranormal investigations, as I says, it's flipping boring. It takes hours and hours of work, and you may not get anything. It's not an entertaining thing. It's not. Some people go in. I see them. I think a lot of the stuff that I used to watch, the priority was to make a YouTube video. It wasn't the paranormal activity or whatever. That kind of was second best to, we're going to have a banger video, folks. personally, I don't give a shit. Personally, I don't really give a shit. Yes, it's nice to have good presentation and stuff like that. But if you get the paranormal activity, that's what that's what you aim to get. Do you know? It's like fishing. You could be sitting on the bank of the river for hours and hours and hours and not get a single bite. And then all of a sudden you get a number of bites. That's the ghost hunting and paranormal investigating is a bit like fishing. You know, there and if you think somebody is real, right? Look at all their videos and make a judgment on that. Because if you see the person that you're following, right, and they go out every Saturday night or Sunday night or every night, and they're getting out activity every single time, there is something wrong there. There is something seriously wrong there. Because the paranormal is paranormal for a reason. It's not a normal occurrence. It doesn't happen every day. If it happened every day, everybody would be talking about the paranormal. The cup people would be reporting cups falling off jumping off sinks, and plates flying around the house, and all sorts of things like that. It doesn't happen every single time, you know. So you know, and people then they look at all these videos and they get this perspective that this is fun. We're going to go out ghost hunting. We're going to get ghost hunting stuff. We're going to get paranormal activity and stuff. You might be disappointed for a while, and that's okay. But then some people think this is really shit. Is it really real, kind of thing? And they get fed up. It's not like what they were showing on videos and stuff, where the person that they're following every single Saturday night they're getting, shadow figures and doors opening and closing by themselves and stuff like that, and all sorts of things and that. And yeah, I think we might have all fell into all of that, but when you start doing it yourself, that's when you start picking holes. And if you don't see the holes in some of this stuff, maybe look down the route that you are being dragged along, and then your mind process is similar to what you've been watching. Yes, be influenced by other people, but Jesus, be flipping careful what you consume as real. Certainly when I started out, I was influenced by other people and stuff. I'm a bit embarrassed about all of that, but you learn. You do learn. You know what I mean? But then again, you've got some people that have YouTube channels, and they're going to claim something. They're going to take any opportunity to claim something as a paranormal event in every video to boost their views, and the views and the attention is the priority there. But I think, see, this is what put me off flipping YouTube. I think the whole thing about copying the script from the TV is, I think that needs to change. I think everybody seems to be going out like Ghost Adventures and doing the same shit, and I think we need to sort of think of other ways of doing it. I'm gonna go because I'm gone on a half an hour now, and yeah, I just thought I would say hello and all the rest of it. Had a stressful couple of weeks. I'm not going to go into it and that, but it kind of I needed a bit of a rethink about everything in my life. But see you very soon. Hopefully I'll get out. Well, I am going to get out very soon, obviously, because I'm doing this paranormal investigation. But I'm going to plan what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to try to be as different as possible. But document as much as possible, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna go. See you. Bye. Bye.